Callum, you look like you want to see some diversity conflict, don't you? That's what that expression looks like to me.
Is that the word now?
That's what I've called it. So the story is, in Peckham in London, a black lady bought some hair extensions. Okay,
Wow, I'm surprised.
There's nothing too out of order here yet. She wasn't happy with them. Sometimes that can happen. She goes to take them back, and the store owner offered credit to spend in store because I presume she may well have opened them. It's not entirely clear from the context at the minute, but normally the custom is if you've damaged the product in some way, they give you in-store credit. And she wasn't happy with that. She wanted an outright refund, and so kicked up a fuss, and then decided rather than accepting it for what it was, she wanted to steal her money back. And the gentleman behind the counter prevents her from walking out of the shop by standing in the door, and then she assaults him. And apparently this is a massive deal, as if there's some sort of discrimination going on here. Man stops
Black
thief.
women have a right to thieve? Is that
Yes.
seriously?
Yes, that's what's going on. And we're going to subject all of you lovely people at home to the video. So here's the video that went viral.
I'm going to call the police. I'm going to call the police.
Babe! No, thank you. Record it. Call the police. 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 This is what this is, babe.
I'm calling the police.
Babe, this man put his neck on me. This man just strangled me now. Just get off me. This man just strangled me. Get the off me.
And yeah, you could argue he was perhaps a bit heavy-handed in going full Darth Vader and choking her, but she was stealing.
Shoplifters.
Huh?
Shoplifters.
No. As in, I don't believe that, but some people could argue it, right? No, I think if someone's stealing from you, it's up to your discretion how much force to use. The law doesn't see it that way, but I see it that way. So I see it as he did nothing wrong. She was trying to steal. He stopped her. His livelihood. It makes perfect sense to me. But apparently not. And of course, she was the one that assaulted him first. And you notice that once he had her restrained, it wasn't like he was, giving her jabs in the ribs. He was just holding her arms so she couldn't get away, which is...
had a belt on her hand for some reason.
No, it was... What she'd done is she'd picked up a shopping basket and she'd hit him over the head with it so many times that the basket had come off and all she had left was the handle, the plastic handle. So that's why that was happening.
Citizen of the century.
Mm-hmm. So there's also some CCTV that's come out of the incident to give you a second perspective, because of course the camera can be misleading and it was originally cut up. So let's have a look at this one for a bit of a different angle.
So she's hitting him here with the ends of the shopping cart. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, with the basket. I think this is actually later on down the line. Notice how, as well, he's starting to get a bit mobbed and she's attacking him while he's just stood there. I think the only thing this man has done wrong is not lay her out flat with a
if that was a man, you just punch the crap out of him.
Yeah. He's shown incredible patience there. I mean, it's not exactly like a case of brute force, is it? And some other people took exception to this video because it went viral, it went online, out of context. People just presumed that, this man just started choking this woman for no reason whatsoever, because that just happens apparently in shops. You know how that happens in shops all the time? You see it. I'm sure you've seen it many times.
Local black woman discriminated against because she couldn't steal.
Mm-hmm.
And is that sincerely what the people of London are now?
I'm not even sure they're aware that she was stealing, because they just see a black woman has had something unpleasant happen to her. I am also black, therefore I must come to her rescue.
It's tiresome, isn't it?
It's just, it's just such a boring way of thinking. It's like,
well, it's not even boring. It's like you people literally can't be reasoned with if that's what you believe.
mm-hmm.
Like, if you cannot comprehend that there might be some footage and you can see it very easily to figure out what's going on, and you're not going to do that. I'm sorry, sir, but like you are just it's like when you go to those protests and you'll find some Muslim guy who has no idea about why he's even there, but he's been told he's got to come to the protest.
It is the same thing, really, isn't it? And here's some more footage, and I'm not entirely sure if this is the same shop, but lots of people are saying it is. So, take it with a pinch of salt. But it seems like this video going around, doing the rounds, similar sort of thing, it makes me think that people have gone back for revenge. They saw the video and they're like, that's it, I'm going back. But if not, if it's a different shop, it just shows that this phenomenon has gone even further. And let's have a look, shall we?
Call police.
I don't know why it's black women particularly. It does look like the same shop that's got the hair extension, so I think it probably is.
Bro, who needs hair extensions? That's what I'm saying.
Fair point.
Who buys them, I should say.
But I think
they don't need them. That's the weird thing I always find about black women is like, your hair looks fine. And then they're like, yeah, but what if I massively change it? All right,
I've never really understood hair extensions anyway, because they just look kind of gross. Like, people can tell that it's fake and it looks weird because you've got this sudden point where you've got lots of hair all of a sudden. It looks strange.
A whole other conversation.
But
I did notice you were right. This area of Peckham. Weirdly, white people haven't come up once.
Well, that's some good foreshadowing, Callum. Well done. They will soon enough, because if a racial conflict happens in Peckham and no white person's around to see it
or take part,
I wonder what would happen. I mean, I wonder
who's to blame.
I don't know. It might not be criminals, It might just be a white man. Let's have a listen to this obvious scholar outside of the shop protesting, and what she has to say about why they're there. And spoiler alert, it's ridiculous.
Black women, you're here, right? Yeah! You know how we're usually told, angry black woman. Today, I don't know if you ever felt that you needed the permission to be angry, but I'm asking you today, are you angry? Yeah! I can't hear you. Are you angry? Yeah! Yes, and we have every right to be angry, because we're always told that beauty is pain. Pretty hurt.
Do people say that?
When we look at the system,
just got to do with shoplifting.
What
I don't
black
know.
women have been through the centuries in order to navigate a white supremacist society.
In order to steal hair extensions.
We have died at the hands of beauty. And so when we saw that
We have died shoplifting for our beauty.
with this store owner's hands across her throat, that is a reminder to us of the ways in which they symbolically, as well as literally, hold their hands to our throats. They do not want us to breathe, whether it's a black man, whether it's a black woman. They don't want us to breathe, because when we can breathe, we can imagine.
We steal more hair extensions.
We can imagine.
You missed it. She said, when we can breathe, we can imagine.
We're giving our money constantly to people who hate us. Right?
Oh,
Even
that's
if
a
we
good
think about
point.
the products, we keep saying, we should go to black-owned stores, and of course we should. But even the actual products, they're giving us fibroids. They're giving us cancer. Right? So we have to restructure the whole industry as a whole. An industry that's taking billions from us every single year and is systemically trying to kill us at the same time. Right? So I'm asking you again, everybody, not just the black women, are you angry? Yeah!
I'm angry now as well.
Yeah! After today,
So,
we remain angry.
lots
We
of
don't
points
vote from
here.
anger. We use the anger constructively.
I think that's probably enough of that. Oh, sorry. I've accidentally pressed play again. So, first of all, stop giving money to people who hate us. I like that slogan. That was my favourite
We're talking
part.
about a woman who was stealing product.
Yeah.
She wasn't giving money to anyone. She stole it.
Yeah. Also, she blames white people, of course.
Yeah.
She talks about the system keeping you down. You mean the justice system, in that, you can't steal.
I know, but it is comical. I mean, it really is just the absolute comical situation where it's like the local black community. I mean, these are just activists as usual. They'll turn up and be like, yes, it's our right to steal. And it's the same story you find in America. It's like, why can't you just find something normal, like actual discrimination to protest about?
There's Gavin McInnes said this years and years ago, that there's a supply and demand problem for racists. People want there to be more racists than there actually are. and people are annoyed about it, and so invent problems that they can be the hero and come in and save shoplifters. But did you catch the part where she said, "When we can breathe, we can imagine," as if that's some sort of profound quote? Yes, that being able to breathe is a prerequisite for using your brain, although I imagine you're probably not breathing very much if you're there in the first place.
But again, we're not talking about some scholar that's just invented a cure for cancer. We're talking about somebody shoplifting hair extensions. So when we breathe, we can imagine stealing hair extensions.
Yes. That's what breathing's all about, Callum.
So enlightened.
Such wisdom here. And finally, the final video is just the crowd that amassed outside of this hair and beauty shop.
No, there's no reprisal.
Audio's buggered.
It's all right. Just an angry guy outside. You don't really need to hear him. It might be that the audience can still hear it. But yes, there's a big crowd of people outside. There you are. Also, notice their shutters are down. They've been forced to close. I'm taking that earpiece out. It's making a horrible noise. But yes, you can see that there was a sizable number of people outside to the point where they had to actually close the shop, which to my mind would be against the law. Isn't that intimidating a shop owner, right? You know, you're forcing them into closing their business because you're all congregating outside in a seemingly threatening way. And considering that people had gone in and started violently attacking the people who worked there, you know, they've been forced into closure through threat of violence for them dealing with a shoplifter. I don't know about you, but that doesn't seem like justice to me.
It's not a valid protest.
It's not, no. It is ridiculous. I mean, I don't know what is wrong with these people. Also just stood in the road when there's traffic as well. And if we have a look at this tweet here, that's some more footage of the protest. It's footage from protest outside Peckham Hair and Cosmetics in South London following an incident where a black woman was assaulted inside the store. And of course, this is...
Or doing nothing at all.
Yes, this is the race grift. This is what's going on, is people are just omitting the fact that she was stealing and trying to wind people up to get them to turn up. Because, of course, if people realise the actual context of it, they'd probably be less likely to turn up. But ignorance is apparently bliss for the race grifting industry, and there they all are. But on the topic of central networks that cause crime, I had a Contemplations, a recent one, The Economics of Organised Crime, where I talk about all of the different principles that govern crime and how organised crime in some circumstances actually might be more desirable than disorganized crime if you want to reduce the crime rate, which is counterintuitive. But if you want to know why that is, you can watch this, where I talk with Dan, who of course is our econ guy, and Connor as well. So anyway, back on to this. They put lots of signs on the front of the shutters to leave a message to the store owners. And one of these I thought was actually put up by the store owner, because it says, "Black people stay out of this establishment," which I thought was harkening back to, you know, those old-timey signs of no dogs, no blacks, no Irish. But apparently...
What Sister Space have been putting up.
Yeah, this is what the activists themselves have been saying, that somehow this is secretly racist, but they've unintentionally, with a sort of horseshoe theory of...
It's not just this store, it's all of them on the strip that kick out, what, thieves? That's pretty normal, yeah. Have you already just realised?
I think there are lots of Asian...
Can't even steal from Asda these days.
I think there are lots of Asian stores along that strip, as far as I'm aware. I don't know Peckham very well.
So it's just going to be like...
It's just like...
Asians and blacks, just...
It's that, yes. Black people don't like Asians.
Whilst everyone blames the white man who doesn't live in London or Peckham.
Yes. Peckham's actually quite famous for being a largely black area, right?
Yeah, I mean, we did a video a while back. There was a local lady making a video about Peckham, and she literally speaks about how she feels like she's in Africa. She's a black lady from Africa.
Well, straight from the horse's mouth, so you can't deny it. I also found, stop supporting these people.
These people.
Yes. That doesn't sound particularly good, does it?
I love like the quotation marks meme has become the Asians for the black community. In Peckham.
Mm-hmm. And if we move on to the next one, I think we get a better view of some of the signs. So if you could just click on some of the images, John, let's have a look at some of them. Violent thugs, black women are not your mugs.
No, but they do need to follow the law.
Mm-hmm. Shut it down there.
Ooh.
Oh, if you go back.
Hang on. Parasitic merchants
Out of our community. A bit spicy. Imagine if that were directed at some other people. Imagine if they went to somewhere like Tottenham and said that sort of thing.
Sorry, we're going to check out Black Twitter later. There's going to be Panjeep, but he's got quotations around his name or something.
So yes, what is it? Protect black women is on there.
Black people who want to steal things online are just posting like every single time. It's an Asian guy stopping you from stealing the hair extensions.
It is a bit absurd. What else can I see?
184chan.
Mm-hmm. Stay out. They wrote closing down, which I don't think they are. I can't really see because the TV is quite far away and there's a camera in the way.
Shut it down.
Touch one, touch all. Don't really know what to make of that. Person stood outside. That looks like a white lady. Protect black, something or other.
White women.
Yes. Well done. Aren't you to blame, according to them? And I think you get the gist. It's ridiculous. But do you know who else is? Oh, yes, there's the parasitic merchants. And if you move on to the next picture, yes, go to hell, East Asians, black something or other, but the picture cuts it off. But I think we get the gist of what they're trying to say. They're just blaming East Asians for targeting black people.
If you stop a single black person who is stealing, you hate all black people who are not stealing.
Yes.
Okay.
Congratulations. This is cutting edge political commentary here, isn't it? As in their political commentary, not ours, of course. But it's just ridiculous. And also the fact that they can bully the shop owner out of opening the shop and then put loads of signs outside and stand outside and basically just defame their name. And the BBC didn't help. I got a screenshot here from what they put out on social media. Protest after woman restrained in cosmetic shop. And this was the thumbnail that people will see on social media and will not read the article. They'll just see, oh, wow.
Restrained by a staff member.
Yeah. Just a woman. Not shoplifter. No. I mean, they could have put the word shoplifter in the place of woman. Yep. That would have been more descriptive. More accurate. A more objective BBC even.
And also really funny for a headline. Protest after shoplifter restrained.
I think that might have been why they did it, because they didn't want to make them look bad. But if you actually go to the article, man interviewed by Met Police after shop restraint. He was spoken to, but guess what happened to the woman?
No police interview?
I'll read from the body of the article, shall I? A 45-year-old man has been interviewed under caution by the Met Police after a video circulated of a woman being restrained by a male shopkeeper. Chants of "you touch one, you touch all" were heard, with signs saying, "keep your hands off black women." Apparently, they're just meant to allow them to steal. The shopkeeper told the BBC the footage had been viewed out of context. Of course it has. He said the footage on social media was cropped and did not show the whole incident in full. The shop remains closed and shuttered. A 31-year-old woman was arrested on suspicion of assault on Tuesday and later released on bail. So the police seem to think that the only person who actually did anything wrong and was actually arrested was the woman.
Because the footage shows it.
Yes. Funnily enough, video footage of a woman assaulting the shop owner and trying to steal from him is enough reason for her to be arrested. And I just wanted to mention that the BBC spoke to a bunch of activists. And of course, they didn't talk to people who said, yeah, the shop owner did nothing wrong. Like if they spoke to me, I'd be like, his only mistake was he was too light on her, which is my genuine opinion. As in, he just stood there and took it.
Just put her on the ground immediately.
If someone's attacking you, show them no mercy. That's what I think.
Well, you need a law change for that, Josh.
Yeah, I do want the law to change. That genuinely is my view. But the so-called activist that they spoke to, Marion Kameka, a 40-year-old artist and youth worker, so her opinions are going to be reasonable, told BBC London there's a hierarchy in this country and unfortunately black women are always at the bottom of the hierarchy.
When stealing and assaulting people, yes.
I'm fed up with being on the street because I've seen a video of a black woman being abused by a man. You didn't have to turn up. The fact is, whenever I open social media, I should be prepared to see some kind of abuses being inflicted on a black person. Well, I hate to break the data to you, love, but it's normally the other way around. The crime data seems to suggest that actually it's black people assaulting all other ethnic groups disproportionately over the other way around. In fact, particularly white people are known for assaulting black people far less than the sort of proportions would suggest. It says, I'm here not to speak for myself, but to speak up for the black women and the black children who are coming up after us. We can't be scared to raise our voices because of what might happen. Why?
Literally nothing. A criminal might go to jail. What injustice.
A woman assaulted someone, and this is just terrible. And the final thing I wanted to mention is that Peckham has been known to be a place of ridiculous race grifting nonsense. There was a protest to block an immigration van when they wanted to deport someone who had extended overstayed their visa.
So an illegal alien.
Yes.
Taking advantage of us.
Enforcing the law. And then, to be fair, it's mostly white people there as well. But,
Yep.
Peckham, same sort of stuff. Yep. And then also, it's worth mentioning Sasha Johnson, who was shot in the head in Peckham. She was an avowed anti-white racist, I think is fair to say. And she got shot by black people. And because it was black people, even though she got shot in the head in the crossfire of gang violence that she supposedly wasn't a part of.
The biggest complaint about the world was the endless white supremacy oppressing her.
Yes. And also, you get shot in the head and you're like, nah, but it's black people, therefore I'm not going to talk to the police. I mean...
Great. Why do you think this is happening then?
Yes. It's almost like if you don't arrest criminals, the criminals commit more crime. This is some sort of revelation. But I wanted to draw attention to this nonsense. I know it's nothing particularly new. This sort of thing's been going on for a while.
But it is funny how we're just not involved anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just this thing happens in London between two communities that we have nothing to do with, and then they blame us. It's like, literally declare independence. We wouldn't care.
I would like to get shot of London. I don't necessarily want to surrender it to people who hate this country, but it's the second best to getting rid of them. Maybe
it's just an economic zone at this point. Like, you go there to make money. That's it.
Yeah, I mean, there's no sort of camaraderie with Londoners. In fact, it's pretty openly cold place. I mean, I've got lots of friends there, unfortunately, and I do enjoy visiting them, but I do feel a bit uncomfortable in London. And yes, this was just the latest case in people licking windows and munching crayons, just being all-round morons. You're welcome.
If you appreciated that segment from the podcast of the Lotus Eaters, you can go to lotuseaters.com to access all the premium contents on the site, such as the Epoch series, this episode on the War of Austrian Succession. If you'd like to find out what else is being put out, you can follow on Getter at lotuseaters_com on Getter. Thank you and goodbye.